Hey, welcome everyone. So, in previous class, we were discussing about very basic things about what are the departments in any organization that we generally see, how our departments are managed, or the resources of each and every department, or the requirements of each and every department, or it can be financial matters of each and every department. How do we handle them? That's what we've been discussing about it. Each and every department in any organization, if I want to manage their resources and the activities that is performed in every organization, in any software, if you want to manage it, you need to have certain things. Now we understood yesterday at a very high level in SAP. SAP is one of the ERP system which comes with multiple modules, each module where you can understand which can handle the functions of particular department. If you look into FI, which deals with all financial accounting related requirements and controlling all about your management accounting related, and all your procurement related, and your sales and distribution, that is SD, is all about your customers, sales, how to generate revenue, all this stuff. Similarly, the quality management, who will take care about all the QCM, quality inspection management, any product that you manufacture or before you sell to your customer, that has to undergo lot of quality checks. Without we thoroughly check the product, we never give that to customer, which means we don't want to sell to any customer without thoroughly testing. What happens if you do it? There will be a lot of bad feedbacks, reputation damage, and a lot many other damages company might face it. To avoid all that in advance, what companies will do, they will perform quality checks. That's a part of quality management. And we have a production planning as well, which is going to deal with all the production related, any production happening, any manufacturing happening in a company. Before the quality management that we are talking about, it will go through this production plan, right? So once the production planning done, which means all the products manufactured, assembled, whatever you wanted to do it, then it will be transferred for a quality management. So high level for us to understand. These are the few things what you can say it. Now there is something called a HCM, human capital management. In any organization, you will see HR department, where HR team will be taking care of many services for the employees, including recruitment and also, let's say, you need to make sure their compensation, their other policies to the employees and to the organization are properly maintained. If you don't maintain all the policies properly to the organization, what happens? You will face a lot of other challenges as well. To avoid that, what we need to do? So we need to make sure we need to run certain policies. You cannot manage everything manually. So each and everything that we perform has to adhere to certain policies. That's where we see a lot of things happening. A lot of HRs, they will frame a lot of policies and rules, regulations for the company, for individually employees to follow certain things. And whenever employees are dealing with external people, they will also follow certain things. All these activities, whatever HR is doing, from recruitment until employee retirement, employee benefits, either it can be policies, everything is managed in HCM module. Now, we have all these modules in SAP. All the modules are tightly integrated with each other. Whatever the crucial information required from one module to other module, it will flow automatically. So that's the beauty of this ERP system. When you have this data flow happening from one module to other module people, without waiting for somebody's response or without waiting for somebody to respond and give the information, they will be in a position to access what they need as long as they have access to. Okay, that we will talk later, how one can restrict, one can access only what they need, how one can get, how are we going to make sure as a consultant to restrict this access, not to access everything. Let's say, for example, you are attending my classes. You will not be able to access my laptop, right? I will give you access to only my screen sharing. What I'm sharing, you can see only that. What if you are able to tap into my laptop? There is no proper controls. That's the control mechanism that we need to build in. right? As a SAP consultant, it can be any module consultant that you are working. You need to make sure that all the modules are tightly integrated, all the authorization roles are properly implemented, so that one person cannot access everything which they are not supposed to access from other modules. Like let's say HCM will contain a lot of sensitive information, including employees' personal data, like their name, date of birth, their personal credentials like Aadhaar number, PAN number. These are all sensitive information. Then nobody would want to expose this information to other people. HR will also make sure these fields are restricted for others to access. Whenever you want to see employee information in an organization, if you go to org structures either in Outlook or a Teams or any other tool that you are using, you will be able to see only person full name and his department where he is working and his reporting manager. And maybe if they are allowed, you can also see their contact number, max to max. And email ID, of course, which is openly available, which you can review it. So these are the things you can see it whenever you talk about it, right? So now anything beyond that, like a date of joining, date of birth, all these are confidential, including Aadhaar number, PAN number. There are many other things. They don't want to give public access to each and every one. To avoid all these things, as a consultant, we need to talk to HR team, or HR team will take care of certain things, how to do that. So these are all the functional modules. Whatever you see here, these are called functional modules. Okay. So in SAP, let's understand a bit now. What are the other things for me to understand? I'm talking about functional modules at this moment. What else is there for us to understand? I'll talk about that in a bit. Okay, that's all we have spoken in a previous class. So let's quickly jump into today's agenda. What do we have today? So let's go through a quick agenda for the classes, not only for today, and the overall sessions that we are going to cover as a part of our FICO course. What are we going to learn? So let me quickly share that information as well, so that you will be aware what exactly we are going to learn here. Okay. So as a part of this course, we are going to learn, let's say, starting from today, you will understand complete information about what is SAP FICO, first of all, what it contains, what it is going to deal with. We'll go very deep about it. Okay. Then we'll also touch base about what are the jobs that are available once I complete this course. There might be a people, yesterday when I seen that, there are somebody who comes with less than 5 years of experience, there's somebody who comes with more than 5 years of experience. There are many people who comes with more than 10 to 15 years of experience as well. Considering that, so is it really possible for everyone, or is it okay for me to start my journey? Everything you will understand. Age doesn't matter, even number of years of experience doesn't matter. Still, anybody can get into SAP FICO jobs, provided that you upskill yourself in a right way. If you don't upskill in a right way, whatever you have it, you cannot crack it, you cannot manage it. Make sure you get the right knowledge you need to manage these roles. Okay. So we'll talk about more in upcoming sessions, what exactly the jobs available. If I have a 0 to 5 years of experience in overall, what kind of jobs I can target. If I don't have any experience so far, I'm just a college graduate, what are the roles that I can target? If I already comes with more than 10 years, 15 years of experience, my package is already like, so little high. Is it still possible for me to get a better package than this? All that I'll address. You will get to know what are the things you're supposed to know before you start the course, and how to continue your journey, and during the journey, how to prepare. Once you get the job, how to manage everything. We'll talk about each and everything in detail. Okay. In case, even after discussing all this, in case you guys have any specific questions to understand and address, don't hesitate to ask me or call me on this number, or drop an email on this email ID, so that I can address all your concerns. Okay. Then we will also understand very deeply, starting from today, the classes, the ECC versus S4HANA. What is ECC? What is S4HANA? What are the things I need to understand? Our training is majorly focused on S4HANA. However, we'll also touch base with ECC, which is one of the old version of SAP, which is still there in many companies. but the scope is very less going forward because it is going to sunset very soon. By officially by next year or by 2030, it will not be there. With that intent, we are all focusing on S/4HANA straight away so that you can easily target more number of jobs. If you know only ECC, the opportunities are very less. Okay, we'll talk about that also in upcoming sessions in detail. What are those things? Then after that, we'll start understanding the very basic thing and initial thing for us to get comfortability, the system landscape. Okay, what is the system landscape, how it is there. I mean, in any organization, system landscape is something which is a very crucial for us to understand. When I know this, then we'll be able to understand what exactly we need. Okay, right. Okay, then what we will do, the next thing what we need to understand, the various types of projects. There are different types of projects in the life of SAP FICO consultants which you are going through. Once you complete the course, there are multiple opportunities where you can join. Either you can pick up implementation project or you can pick up various other projects as well. We'll start our training with implementation project because this is one of the core thing you see wherever you go. If your resume says you have at least one end-to-end implementation experience, your profile will be shortlisted very high likely to the next round. I'm not saying offer letter. To the next round, your resume, if you want to get shortlisted, at least your resume should have one end-to-end implementation. If your resume do not have this, you can experiment this. You no need to continue the classes. You can experiment. Maybe you just update your profile and try it in a job portals and see how many calls you get it if you don't update your resume with implementation experience. So that you will understand practically. Okay, that it's not about just my words. You can also see that practically with zero cost. You can experiment. Okay, but we will spend our time to understand, to start with implementation project. What are the things as a consultant you will be handling an implementation project? How it starts with? What are the things I can handle when I join as a fresher, when I join as an experience, when I join with a SME? What are the things I can expect? What are the things I need to get upskill? Here, though we are going to start from the scratch, everybody may not be able to grasp all the knowledge that we are sharing here. Depending on your level of experience, your number of years of professional experience, and the way you are targeting your profiles, you need to plan how much information you can consume from these sessions. Depending on how much more information you gain, the more advantage you will have it. Now you need to decide until what information I need to grab it. There is a lot of information I'm going to share in our sessions. Depending on what you need, you can grab it. But there are certain things everybody has to grab it without any miss. You need to make sure you just say that you need to list what are the things that you wanted to learn. Okay, I'll also tell you if you are targeting for 0 to 5 years, minimum you need to learn these things. Okay, and if you are targeting like 5 to 10 years, you need to learn these things. Okay, that's how I can tell you. Okay, you can also ask me personally if you feel that I don't know how should I plan my career. I'm happy to help you if somebody who is looking for that kind of support as well. Okay, so then once we understand implementation project, what else we have it? Hey, somebody who joined with a Samsung phone, would you mind renaming your name or just drop me your name in case you have a trouble renaming yourself? I can help you with it. That would be great if you can drop your name. Okay. Then we will also understand something called a rollout projects. What is rollout project? What are the things that we need to handle? We'll check all these in our upcoming sessions. What are the responsibilities of a consultant? If your profile says a rollout, what are the things you need to understand? All this, not just theoretically. We go practically. I'll show you each and everything in a system, how rollout project happens. Then you will understand, you can easily, confidently explain in interviews. Not only explaining in interview, my purpose is for you to manage in a job confidently. Once you clear your interview, you should not struggle to manage this projects. So that's the main purpose of it. Clearing interview, don't even worry about it. even before you complete the course, everybody can easily clear the interviews if you are regular to the classes and follow my instructions of all the practice you're supposed to do. Then clearing interviews is not at all a big matter. Anybody can easily clear it. Okay. So then once you're done with that, we'll also get into our support projects. We'll see what kind of responsibilities that we will be handling in. Okay. So what we will be doing in a support projects, what kind of roles and responsibilities again you can see in support projects, what you're supposed to learn, to which extent you need to do it. So then we will also talk about testing projects. So why I'm talking about all this right now? Because anybody who is preparing for interviews, whoever is aiming for SAP, FICO consulting roles, you need to be aware how many years of experience that you wanted to enter into the market, depending on your level of experience. And whenever you see any job description, you will find majority of these things, whatever I am showing it now. You will have an implementation experience requirement. You will have a support requirement. You will also have maybe rollouts and testing related knowledge, whether you have it or not. Go back and check the at least JDs. If you don't want to apply for a jobs and prepare resume, at least refer to 5 to 6 job descriptions, which is targeting 0 to 10 years or a 0 to 5 years, so that you will understand what are the roles they are looking for, what kind of skill set they are looking for. Depending on that, you can also target what to learn. From there, you can continue our classes to see what are the best things that you can learn, what are the things that you need to focus on. Okay. Those are the very basic things. And of course, migration projects. Now, like I mentioned, migration, it is in a two ways. One, in a legacy to SAP and old version of SAP to S4HANA, which is ECC to S4HANA, or it can be legacy system to S4HANA. Nobody would want to go for legacy to ECC nowadays because ECC is going to end their lifetime and implementation itself will take few years. By the time you complete, it is already done. You cannot expect any support from SAP after that. There is no point that anybody would go for this implementation of ECC. Now let's understand, after all these projects, if you understand it, what you are going to get it. So you will get. Hey, very good morning, Morejo. I appreciate your time because you asked me last night about the UK timings, how it matches. I know it's a very early morning for you. If I'm not wrong, it's at 2:30 a.m. So appreciate your efforts. Yeah, we just started the session few minutes back. Yeah, maybe I can share you the recording later. Just request me one-on-one. Okay, once we're done with migration project, then you will get a confidence in any projects. If you wanted to handle whether it's a migration project, testing project, support project, implementation project, you never worry much about it. You already know certain things, how to start, how to continue. With a little close, little support, you will be able to continue without any struggle. Okay. So now let's continue and see what else we have it. So we'll talk about more in our upcoming sessions about the other things like a course content. All of you might be more interested or excited to see what is the course content that we have. Can I see the course content, right? So here is a quick course content that I just wanted to share with you all. Just a second, where is this course content? Okay, so here is the course content for your reference, but doesn't mean that this is the end of it. This is a base for us to start with, but you can expect beyond this. Okay, whatever you see here, it just for you to get a comfortability whether these things are taken care or not. Beyond that, you will see many other things as well. We'll understand about very few things to know what is the history of SAP, why SAP, and the system landscape is one of the core thing to understand. We'll go with ECC and S4HANA versions to understand. Then you will also understand something called a Fury. So Fury is one of the latest advancements happened in S4HANA, which is not there in ECC. Now, majority of the companies, they are also using Fury applications along with S4HANA. Now we need to understand how to use Fury. We'll also in our training cover very clearly about the Fury as well. Okay. Then starting from the basic, like I mentioned earlier, our classes will be like, we start with a basic version. We'll understand the basics first. Once we understand the basics, including our basics, will cover like, let's say, financial accounting basics we need to understand because we are going to become FICO consultant. When you say FICO consultant, you should know certain accounting basics. It's not straight away that without knowing that you will be able to manage it. If you are not from finance and accounting background and you never worked in any finance and accounting processes, you don't possess any professional qualification in finance and accounting, and if you don't have that zeal to learn basics of accounting, I'm not expecting you to become an expert like a CPA or a CA or a CMA, but at least the basics you should understand. What do you mean by debit? What do you mean by credit? What do you mean by profit? There are a lot of new terminologies. If you are not from a finance and accounting background, you should have that enthusiasm to learn these basic things. If that is in your plate, yes, you are in a right direction to continue FICO course. If somebody who don't have all these, like I mentioned, I would strongly recommend you to consult your mentors or talk to me one-on-one. I'll help you whether it is going to be a right journey or not. I don't want you to take a wrong decision today and regret later, but make sure you take a right decision right from day one. That's okay if you want to spend some money, time, and upskill yourself just for a knowledge purpose. That is absolutely okay. But if your expectation is to become a consultant, but if you are not meeting certain criteria, and later you might feel that, or you might regret that, I wasted a lot of time and money. I don't want anybody to regret from our sessions feel that way. I'm okay to provide a free counseling in case somebody needs that. Okay, feel free to contact me so that I can personally talk to you in case somebody wanted to talk to me personally, depending on the geography you are in. I'm happy to meet in person, or somebody who wanted to meet on a video call or audio call. However you want to reach me, please feel free to reach and get all the clarification before you start. That is what one request I would do for everyone. Okay, with that, again, we'll start with the basics of accounting. We'll understand from the scratch what is financial accounting, how to prepare a journal entries, how to prepare your financial statements. I don't go deep about all of them, but I'll touch base on that so that you can recollect your memory from your academics and the working, what you used to do and what you are currently performing it, so that it will become easy for you to continue in the journey. I'll kickstart that, and I'll also share some assignments to you to recollect all your memory and complete certain things so that it will become comfortable for you. Okay, make sure you follow all the assignments that will be coming on your way, which is certainly going to help you to become a perfect consultant. When you complete the course and appearing for interviews, nobody should feel that this guy don't know anything. When you appear for an interview, interviewer should feel that you sounds like experienced consultant. That's all I want you to bring a knowledge before you appear for interviews. Okay, for that, you need to put a bit of effort so that you can easily understand. Okay, now we'll start with, once we're done with that basics of accounting, then we'll straight away continue with our SAP related content, what we supposed to learn, starting from company code creation, your chart of accounts, GL accounts. All this is part of your basics, very basic things. Okay, I would say these are like alphabets for us to learn. Without alphabets, you cannot proceed for advanced levels. This is like a very basic for me. Once I complete this basics of organization structure, and then we will also have general ledger accounting. So when we get into general ledger accounting, we'll start deep dive from here, what you're supposed to learn. For you to continue with any advanced topics like a GL accounting, accounts payable, accounts receivable, or asset accounting, or any other things, you need to have good basic understanding. Your foundation or the basics has to be right. We are going to spend a decent amount of time to understand each and every basic concept. Considering whether you are experienced person or a fresher, I want everyone to align with this. Though some of you might feel bored because you might have seen this already, attended multiple times, but you will see a different version of it. Okay. But somebody who feels that you never seen that, you will see a lot of value and you will engage with this and understand a lot of content. Once we're done with that basic, we'll get into the GL, which is general ledger accounting. We'll go very deep dive into this. And then after that, we'll get into P2P cycle. In a P2P cycle, I'll touch base once again this accounts payable later. We'll understand with the basic processes in accounts payable, and similarly we'll understand the basic process of accounts receivable. And here accounts payable, certainly we will cover your automatic payment related DME structures, all that is a part of your advanced level. Of course, we'll cover advanced level as well as part of this course. Right? And accounts receivable, and once we're done with that, asset accounting also will touch base. I mean, we'll go deep about asset accounting as well. So nowadays, any interview that you attend, if you see that, if you comes with asset accounting experience and your profiles are highly valued. I have seen a couple of students from previous batches who possess asset accounting knowledge from their previous experience. They are not a consultant, but they possess end user experience or a business user experience in fixed asset accounting. They are able to crack multiple interviews without any struggle. Their profiles are highly valued. Okay, we will go deep about asset accounting as well. So somebody who is not good at earlier, now you can learn that as well. And once we're done with this, all the processes like a GL, AP, AR, and asset accounting, then we'll get into the reports to understand. Then we'll also go very deep about integrations, which is one of the crucial part in SAP FICO. Without knowing integration part like FIMM and FISD, FICO, it is not possible for us to become a consultant. Okay, trust me, you can expect a lot of questions around integrations as well without miss. Okay, then the more advanced topics, what we need to be aware about, the fit gap analysis. As a part of that, you will see a rise of objects. We'll talk in detail about what is this rise of objects, customizations, how to do that, and working with your FSDs. All that will cover it. Those who already attended some courses, this course earlier with somewhere else, you will be able to recollect all this. What is the importance of this? Or somebody who worked as a consultant or working as a consultant or attended at least few interviews, you already know all these things. Okay, then this is majorly for FI portion that we cover it. And CO, when it comes to controlling module, will be able to cover the basic level. We cannot go deep or the advanced level in controlling because of the timelines. Okay, for us to cover all these topics that I have listed here, along with more topics that I'm going to add in between as and when there is a requirement in each and every topic, this will take approx 3 to 4 months of time when we spend every day 1 hour for 5 days in a week. Okay, 5 hours in a week, you consider like approx 20 to 25 hours in a month is what we are going to cover. It takes minimum 3 to 4 months, which means we need a minimum at least 100 hours for us to touch base all these things. Certainly we'll cover more than 100 hours depending on time availability. Here and there we might spend a regular basis few minutes here and there. Not exactly at 9 o'clock we can disconnect, or not exactly by 1 hour of time we can disconnect, right? So there might be a flow which is happening. I might need to complete that flow on that particular day, which can extend a little bit. Okay, including clarifying all your questions and everything, which can go around approx 120 hours. That's how we can target on an average for us to cover all the content. Okay, and we'll be able to cover controlling basics, and which will give you some idea how to continue in case somebody wanted to learn deep about it. We have advanced level CO course as well, which will take another 5 months of duration for you to complete. Somebody who is already good at one of the modules, either FI, SD, MM, or any other module, then I would recommend them to go with this. Otherwise, it's not a good idea to start with controlling as a first module for you to learn, unless you are qualified CMA or SCA, comes with a lot of experience. Okay, so then we will also have a final project which is aiming to cover all the concepts in a project, what we do as a consultant, whatever is required. I would particularly cover in each and every topic. Even after that, there might be certain things missed or a new requirements. And with our experience, anything that we come across new stuff, we are going to cover in a final project phase to give you more idea, which is like you are very close to the interviews at that moment. Whenever you are very close to the interviews, you need to recollect all the project stuff once again. So we'll touch base here, all the project stuff and the interview sessions, and we'll also help you with one project for you to complete. I would recommend you to complete the project as and when I recommend you to complete. You do that on a system. In S4HANA system, you prepare all the documentation. I'll instruct you how to follow and how to complete the project. If you are able to complete the project, nothing like that. That will boost your confidence. It is not for just for my purpose. I want you to do it, which will boost your confidence for in all the ways. Okay. Then we'll also help wherever certain people feel that I need some help with the interview grooming. Maybe I'll take up mock interviews as well, one-on-one mock interviews and also group mock interviews. Okay, we'll have both. So one-on-one mock interviews will happen. People who says that I'm done with all my practice, I'm up to date, I'm preparing for my real interviews, I need some help. Then I'll take up their mock interviews and share the feedback on one-on-one to let them know where they are standing. What are the things they're supposed to understand? How to proceed further? I'll explain that. Okay, then they can work out on their shortcomings and they can appear for interviews. That's how your interview grooming will help you. And you will also get access to the professional network of SAP consultants. So with us, whoever is already there, I mean, our alumni and also my colleagues and my seniors, there is a lot many people across the globe. I have around so far 650 plus people in our network who are actively looking into SAP related stuff. Maybe some of them already completed the course and preparing, and majority of them already working as a consultant or managers or many other positions. This network is purely for you to enhance your knowledge and also to get the network benefit. Network benefit, whenever you need any referrals or any information, you can get access from that. Okay, that's the network of access that I can provide to all of you. So once you start the journey, okay, then we'll also help you with all your resume writing. Somebody who need a help with the resume writing and all this stuff, none of these things will be charged again separately. Everything is included in our course as a part of a course bundle package. You get it. Okay, this is a quick about the course content which you are going to experience in our upcoming sessions. Okay, then what else we have it? So if you understand that course content and if you are comfortable with that, we'll continue our journey of understanding the systems. Now let's come back to our usual topics, what we supposed to learn, right? Like I already mentioned, this is not just a demo sessions. These are going to be a live classes. We'll continue from here. I'm not going to repeat these sessions in the form of certification preparation. Yes, Morejo, I can also help you with the certification preparation, but you just need to take care the certification enrollment and other stuff, because we are not covering that fees in the course fees. That depending on your location, the prices may vary. That you need to take care to register for your exam. You block your exam. I mean, you pay for exam fee, and we can assist you during the course. This course will suffice, I mean, which will help you to clear your certification as well. That won't be a big challenge. Okay. So like I mentioned, so these classes are going to be the live classes. It is not just a demo sessions. That's where I'm inviting enthusiastic people to attend these sessions and decide later whether it is a right platform or not for them. You don't need to worry before you take a decision. You have ample time. Maybe you will have one more class tomorrow, and after that we'll have 3 more classes next week. Okay, so I'll share the course content and everything with those confirmed parties. I mean, people who has already given their contact details with me, and I can share with everyone. Okay, so then what will have the upcoming classes? Once you attend next week 3 more classes, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and the same time, then you can take final decision to continue or not. Until then, you are free to attend all the live sessions and see how it goes. You can expect the same quality that we are starting now and even better going forward. Okay, so that I can assure with the quality of content. Okay, now let's come back to our topics to continue further and understand SAP versions. Now, yesterday we touch based about some modules here. So SAP is one of the ERP system. What is ERP? Enterprise Resource Planning. Similarly, we are calling SAP now. What is SAP? Let's understand SAP. Anybody wanted to give abbreviation for SAP? What do you mean by SAP? Let's make it more interactive. So that's okay. I've been talking so far. You guys also can interact. I want all the classes to be as lively as possible. Anybody has read or seen earlier? Okay, this is called systems. First thing, S stands for systems. Okay, what systems? What are all other systems that we are using it? SAP is not just one small software. Like I already mentioned, it is one of the leading ERP system, which is going to provide ERP solutions for all your resources in your organization that you wanted to manage. Okay, we have a lot of solutions within it. So that's where multiple systems that we are using along with applications. Whenever we say applications, systems are different, applications are different. Systems, applications, and products and data processing. This is all about your in simple to understand SAP. We'll deep dive later, but for you to understand the abbreviation, SAP is systems, applications, and products in your data processing. For your organization to process all your data, to manage all your data, you might be using multiple applications, which means third-party application, your own prepared applications, or it can be various systems. All these things will be integrated and you will be able to fetch the data and you will be leverage the data. Okay, that's what SAP, in case you just wanted to understand at an abbreviation level, but we'll go deep later. You'll understand what exactly it is. Whenever I talk about just SAP, this for us to understand, it has started very long back. When it started long back, they started with the intention to provide only accounting solutions. Initially, they started with accounting solutions. It has been maybe just initiated or started or founded by ex-IBMers back in Germany. Then they have slowly developed version by version, which means they started adding new features every day. When they started adding new features every day, you will see a lot of new content, new features and everything as and when they develop this software, right? Whenever they develop this software and you see all these new enhancements, the companies also likes it, whoever is using this product. That's where it started for everybody, or the overall growth of SAP. If you see that why these many people are using nowadays is because of the functionalities they are providing it. The more functionalities they provide, more people will like it, right? Now it started with, for example, way back when they started with a R1 structure, which is a single tier architecture, which means all the layers, like there were multiple layers as on today. If you consider, all the layers were on a single server. Everything was launched on a single server, which was leading to performance issues. The slow performance, it is not giving quick results and all that stuff. And later, of course, they've been very closely observing and they made changes later. They brought two-tier architecture, which means presentation separately. The front screen that you see now, like what I'm presenting here, this is a front screen. We call this as a GUIs. Okay, presentation. They have separated and they made it the databases separately. In R3, particularly when it comes to R3, they made three-tier architecture. They separated presentation servers and applications separately and databases separately. What is presentation? The front end, whatever you see, whatever I'm typing here, you can see that. That is your front end presentation. And application. In a back end, there is some coding has been written. It is functioning the way they designed. Let's say, for example, here, I'm trying to highlight something here. Okay, maybe I'll just bold it. It is instantly happening a bold. How it is happening? there is certain program written in a backend, right? That is called application. When I'm applying some format here, if I go here and select some coloring, let's say I'll select some green color here, it is applying a green color here. Okay. Now, how the green is coming here? Because there is certain code written in a backend that is getting applied in the form of code gets read by system and it will make various changes. So that is what application. So in R3 structure, if you understand R1, R2, and R3. So particularly in R3, currently we are talking about, so this has presentation server, like what we are talking. This is a presentation that you see, the whatever the class notes. And in a backend, there is something called application. So which will take care all your coding and what to execute, how to execute everything. And we'll also have a database. Whatever I save now, this file today, if I close it, tomorrow I can again access the same thing. If I don't save it, it is not getting recorded in your database or in the file. If you want to keep it for a future reference, of course, any company that they are managing the data, you have to store the data for a future reference. Where do you store? You need some database. Now they brought this database concept also in R3 along with application and presentation. Presentation is all about whatever you want to present, you can see that. And application, certain things to process in between, and database to finally store the data for a future reference. And whenever you want to retrieve, you should be in a position to retrieve from database through application to finally to the presentation, to the front screen or a front server. So nothing to worry much about this, all these technicalities and everything, whatever is there. But just for your understanding purpose, you should know what is R3 currently, which version that we are in. Any SAP system currently we are using, that is R3 versions. Okay. Now, if you see that, the next thing what you need to understand in the R3 versions, later we see ECC version has came up. What is ECC? This is advanced version of R3 with enhancement packages, which you call it as EHP. Okay. So let me put that here for your reference. So advanced version of R3 with enhancement packages, which in short you call it as EHP. ECC versions that we are using, let me say ECC here so that it will be easy for you to recognize. Currently, any ECC version that you see that is running on EHP versions. The ECC versions are categorized into EHP, which is enhancement packages. But after that, there is a still advanced thing available in S4HANA. But if you wanted to know the latest availability in EHP is EHP 8. That is the current version in ECC. EHP 8 is the latest one. After that, SAP is not going to provide any advanced versions because they are already planning to sunset very soon. With that intent, majority of the companies are already migrating. Okay. Now, for us to understand once the ECC, it's no longer, I would say, is a big demand, but we will understand what exactly how the system works and everything. It's not too much difference, but whatever the differences are there, we will look into it. Somebody who already learned ECC, it is very easy for you to catch up with S4HANA. If you're already working in ECC, still it is very easy for you to catch up with S4HANA. If you are learning for the first time, it is still easy for you because you don't need to confuse anything. You straight away start and you can look into the differences and you will be in a position to continue. Okay. And we'll also see S4HANA. This is particularly one of the latest versions, or I would say it has started in 2015, not latest. If you say the latest when compared to ECC and S4HANA, it is already more than 10 years. A decade-old ERP system in S4HANA itself, which means they are still evolving. And still there are many companies who are using ECC. They are slowly migrating to S4HANA. Think about it. Any organization that is using ECC, and for any company to implement any system, right, it takes minimum 5 years. Minimum 5 years for a first time to implement. Think about it. Now, if any company wanted to implement SAP as their ERP system for the first time, think about it. If they think about it from today, they need to spend minimum 5 hours, 5 years to complete one implementation. Now think about it. So 2016, if they start, 2026, if they start, my very bad the number, 2026, if they start, it will become 5 years, 2031. By 2031, if they complete, think about it. So ECC will not be there for them to support. SAP will not be supporting ECC. And there is no point you spend a lot of money to implement ECC now, because any ERP system implementation is very expensive for all the organizations. Okay, understand the cost factor, which is a very important for a company to sustain. Even after spending a lot of money, and if you think that product is not good for you, which is not suitable, which is not fitting your purpose, then it is huge investment that you are wasting it. Majority of the companies will treat this as a capex as well, all the ERP investment that they are doing it, because it is going to give them a long-term benefit. Hope you guys can understand what is capex, but if not, don't worry, we'll talk about that later, what is capex and opex and everything. But it is a capital expenditure in nature. Okay, because it's a huge amount, and also it takes a long time to implement. Once you're done and you want to discard that again you need to spend little more or less the same amount of time to come up with a new ERP system. Instead of that, you want a new thing, again you need to spend minimum 3 to 4 years or 5 years depending on ERP system. Nothing is so simple and easy. It's a very complex for any organization to start the journey. Okay, because there is a lot many things they need to assess, lot many things they need to take care and assess. So I'll tell you how to identify whether it is ECC or S4HANA. It is a very easy to identify. I'll show you practically in my system so that you can also make out. When you get an access to your system, or whenever you are logged into your office systems or your practice server, you will be able to see whether it is a ECC or S4HANA very easily. Okay, I'll show you that practically in a while. So whenever you see if this implementation is not suitable for them, what are the things that we need to take care? Okay. So now any organization that they are planning to implement, how they will decide, what are the things they will look into it. There are a lot many things they need to decide. I mean, lot many things to compare, including the risk assessment, feasibility study. Of course, there is a big team who will take care of all that stuff. Okay. So then you will see once they implement, of course, they will use these ERP systems at least for 30 years, 40 years, or 50 years, as long as they are comfortable. They don't want to back out from one ERP system so easily, because they have invested a lot of money, first thing, and there is no other alternative which is better than this. When do you think about get rid of something? Whenever you find better than, there is something better than this, and you have a need to change this one. The current one is not really good for you because it is not meeting your requirement. First thing, if it is not meeting your requirement, anybody will think about, let me change this. If I'm using some old phone, if that is not working as expected, why should I use it? Right? I have to upgrade. I have to change to the new phone. Same way. Or let's say that the current one that I'm currently managing is very expensive, which I cannot afford at all, which is not really worth for me to spend so much money, because it is giving me a lot of trouble. If it is not a phone, think about a car. The car I purchased 15 years ago, it is still working fine, but I'm spending a lot, huge cost to maintain it for a service, repairs. Whenever there is a spare part required, hardly I'll get it. It is very difficult for me to get that spare parts for that car because it is outdated and nobody is manufacturing them. I need to find out here and there if the stock is available for the spare parts, which is becoming very difficult. Now, people will think about it. If that is the situation, let me switch to other ERP system now. Now, what happens? SAP will make sure they will give you the best experience. They will always enhance with all the new features so that you will not feel that it is outdated. You always using, you can always say that you are at the latest version of it. Okay. So that's how they can take care, and they will always upgrade with the latest versions. That's the first thing that you can expect. Okay. So now let's say, one second. Yes. Okay, so with that intent, a lot of organizations, when they start their journey, nobody would want to back out or nobody would want to easily switch to other ERP system because of the experience and the futures is provided by SAP. Okay, and that is SAP responsibility to make sure they give us or they give a best experience to all their customers. They are always coming up with new versions, and that is what you can see that as well. Where so far all the versions they have come up from R1, R2, R3, and also currently whatever you see S4 HANA version. Even after S4 HANA, there is some more advancements they are still doing it. So what are the advancements? They are already into the cloud versions now. We'll talk about the cloud versions also a little later. But for now, let's look into only ECC and S4 HANA, how to understand, how to see this. Maybe one of you asked, what is ECC, what is S4 HANA, how do I identify? Whenever you get into it, it might be new for some of you, or most of you are might be already familiar with. Let me start sharing the SAP screens, how it looks like, what are the things that you need to understand. When you see this, how many of you seen this icon already? The SAP logon that you see on my desktop here. Just you can say yes or raise your hands or say yes in a chart. This one, the one that I'm highlighting. How many of you already seen and started using it in your office or somewhere? Okay, you have seen this. Okay, this is called SAP Launchpad or SAP Logon Pad Launchpad. This is your GUI logon pad. Okay, so using this, you can log into your SAP. Those who have already seen, yeah, you will understand what it is and how to use it and everything anyway. So now let's say that I'll help you. For those, I see only very few people said yes, but however. So let's say that whenever I wanted to log into SAP, how do I log in? Just double click on this one. This is how you see in your office. You will find some connections like this. Once you see these connections, so what you need to do, you just need to double click on one of the connections depending on which system you want to connect. Later, I'll just show you what are the things that you need to understand and how to set up your own connection and how to do all this stuff. Okay. Now let's say I wanted to get into S4 HANA, one of the connection that has been added here. Just double click on this one. The moment you double click, you get this screen where you need to enter the client number, username, password, and choose your preferred language to see that, and you can continue. Once you enter all your username, password, and press enter or click on this enter icon, the green tick mark, you will be able to get into the screen. So you will land here. Once you land here, I'll just show you maybe to help you understand which version that I'm using it, whether I'm using the latest version, old version, whether it is a ECC, S4 HANA, all the things will be clarified now. Okay. Now there is something called a system. When you get into the system, just go to your status. In a system status, system and status, you will find an option where you can see what kind of version that you are using. Now you can see the client, which client you logged in, what is the user that has logged in, and you can also see previously when did you log into the system, last time login, and the current logon, when did I log in today or the recent one. Okay, you will also see the product version here, something called product version. Product version, it is not directly displayed here, but it is saying see details. If you click on this, this is the details button where you can see the complete details. And this license expires on by 2030, which we have 4 more years for this license. If you see at the bottom, you will also see something called database system, HDB. What is HDB? H for HANA, 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 DB for database. HANA database is what it is. Okay, HANA database, we'll talk about more on HANA database in upcoming sessions. It will become too much at this moment, but I'll tell you later. But let's get into the details to see which version that I'm currently in. The current system that I'm using is, if you go to installed product version, the second one, you will see what version. Maybe I want you to read this release, which year it is released, and what do you see here? Can anybody spell out what exactly it is? It is S/4HANA on-premises, which is 2023 version. Okay, this is the same version which I'm going to use for a training. You all will get the same version for you to practice as well. This is how you can check whether it is a S/4HANA, which version that you are using. If you are looking or using ECC, that will clearly will tell you EHP version. That may not show ECC, but it will tell you EHP, enhancement package. Like I mentioned earlier, you will see this EHP, EHP 6, EHP 7, EHP 8, or EHP 6.1, 6.2, 7.1, 7.2, something like that. Okay, this is how you can refer which version that you are currently using. Later, I'll show you in next class how to navigate and how to use all this. It is in my plan. Okay. Now, when you get in here, right? So let's say whenever you get in here, so now we wanted to get into Fury applications. How do you get into Fury application? There is a dedicated link. So, or you can also navigate from GUI screen to your Fury application. In S/4HANA, Fury is one of the complementary tool, which is most used tool, I would say. Okay. So you need to get familiar with Fury tools as well. Now, how do I access Fury tool? Let's say /n/UI2/FLP. If I get into this, it will automatically direct. First time it will show something like this. Your connection is in private. Don't scare. Nothing to worry. It is completely safe because it is coming from the trusted source. So if it is coming from unknown sources, if somebody shared through WhatsApp or an email, something like that, you need to think before clicking on it, but it is completely safe. Don't worry. You click on advanced and you will find a continue option. This is for the first time only because I already accessed through Chrome browser. So it is not asking, but it is directing in a Edge browser at this moment. For the first time, it will ask this option. Second time onwards, you may not say this. First time you say this. Okay. Advanced and continue, it will land here. Okay, now as usual, you enter your username and you choose your preferred languages, whatever you are comfortable with. This is for only for your viewing purpose and for you to work on it. If you are comfortable with your local language to continue, you can choose that. Okay, but make sure you will be able to understand the terminologies once you get into that respective languages. Whatever the language available here, you can pick that. Okay. So in India also, there is one of the languages, Hindi, so which is available. So unless apart from Hindi, we don't have any Indian languages, but country to country, there is one language has been given. This is the client number 100. Currently, I'm using it. Later, I'll explain you more about what client to enter, how to enter, what to choose, all that stuff. So just log in now. So that this is how your Fury application looks like. Okay, once you log in, the interface is like just a web page. We'll talk about the more about Fury advantages and why Fury and what are the things you can do it, how to navigate, how to set everything. Everything we'll discuss in upcoming session. Maybe tomorrow session we'll talk about it. Okay, so there is multiple tools available in Fury as well, which is a widely used in nowadays in S/4HANA. All the business users are using Fury applications. Whenever they raise a ticket, whenever they face any issue, they raise a ticket, right? When they raise a ticket, as a consultant, you need to understand that. What is the problem? Once you understand it, you need to replicate the issue to see how to solve it. Now you think certain thing, okay, could this be a problem? Okay, let me try it. Let me experiment it. For that, you should know how to navigate all this. You should know how to use all these tiles, or you should know how to use Fury application first of all. Without knowing what user is saying, how you are going to replicate, how you are going to test, we don't know. If you want to post something, you want to try something, you need to be familiar with all the screens, how to navigate. Maybe user might be trying the wrong way, right? Because the users are new, they are not got used to the interfaces or all these systems, completely new for them. But you as a consultant, we call as a consultant because you are experienced person. Now we need to make sure you are in a position to solve their problems, right? Now we'll talk about all these things in tomorrow's session, and we'll continue from there on and show you how to deal with this, how to handle, how to navigate, how to understand each and everything. I'll show you, and I'll also grant access to all of you with the S/4HANA 2023 version access for you to practice as well. I will also help you how to install your own SAP in the next sessions. you can install your own SAP Launchpad, the Launchpad that I showed earlier. You can use this one. I'll share the instructions how to install after tomorrow's session. Maybe during the weekend, you can continue installing this version and experiment whatever you wanted to. Later, we can continue after that. So that we'll have more sessions in tomorrow and later next week. Now, for today's session, let me stop here and allow this forum to ask any questions if you guys have it. Do let me know so that I can take up any questions. Anything that you wanted to know.